I am a high school social studies teacher and also the Marshall Scholarship Foundation's high school liaison. Today what I'm going to be doing is running you through the Scholarship Foundation Application Workshop. We held one before Christmas, but if you were unable to attend, this video should run you through pretty much everything that we discussed that day. If you have any questions, you can contact me at the high school via email, or you can call the high school or have your student ask any questions you might have as well. Now, a couple of quick things before we get started. There are some handouts, how to complete the scholarship application, the essay writing tip sheet, and MHS activities examples, along with a release form that we need signed and turned in, not today, as it says on the slide, but in order to review your information. Those forms can all be found in the office with Mr. Whalen, one of the guidance counselors. And if you cannot find him, you could come and see me in my classroom, and I could probably dig the forms out for you as well. I'm going to be running through most of the major things that we talked about that day. Now, here's our agenda for what we're going to go through here. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to run you through how to do the scholarship application, what the timeline is. We're going to talk about the permission form, and then we're basically going to talk about how to get this all completed, and then give you an avenue where you can get answers to questions should you have them. Now, first, I'm going to give you a little history of the Scholarship Foundation. The Scholarship Foundation is really established to help the students of Marshall keep their educational opportunities open and for them to continue on in some sort of educational capacity. We've existed since 2004 with the goal being to give every Marshall graduate that applies a scholarship, and we're actually able to reach that goal for the first time a couple of years ago. Since we began in 2004, we've given away over 500 scholarships, and we've given away, I think this year we'll go over $400,000. Seniors that apply basically will go to our website, marshall.dollarsforscholars.org, and we'll run through the process that I'm about to take you through. One other reminder, as far as scholarships go, Marshall Scholarship Foundation administers a number of the local scholarships, but not all of the local scholarships. For instance, the Marshall Lions Club runs their own scholarship with their own application. Those local scholarships that we do not administer, the information is often sent out via school email to the students from our guidance counselors. So the students should be diligent in checking their school email for those opportunities. Other scholarships can be found online through parent or guardian workplaces, through student workplaces, or through the various activities that students are involved in. We do recommend filling out as many of those as possible because, hey, if you've earned the opportunity to be considered for those scholarships, it's an opportunity to lessen your cost for your post-secondary education. Again, everything that we do runs through the Dollars for Scholars website, which is sponsored by Scholarship America. Now, our timeline. Our scholarship application window formally opens on January 20th, 2023 and closes on February 10th, 2023. Now, you will be able to fill in most of the scholarship application before January 20th, but January 20th is when the submission date opens to actually turn the scholarship in. Now, that February 10th deadline is a hard deadline. We cannot take any late as we are on a very tight time schedule. So there will be no exceptions. February 10th is the hard due date. As of this moment, barring any unforeseen situations, our awards night will be held on May 24th, 2023, and it's usually either at the Oaks or Kestrel Ridge. More details to come on that from the high school. Now, something really important that you will get from Mr. Whalen if you go and see him is our permission to release information form. That form must be turned in order for you to be considered for any scholarships. Without that form, we cannot allow our readers to look at your scholarship application. That form is pretty simple. It's a standard release form. If a student is younger than 18, the form must be filled out by a parent and the student. If the student is 18 or over, the student can fill out the form on their own. Again, see Mr. Whalen for that, and please get that turned in before the February 10th deadline, either myself, again that's Mr. Seep, or to Mr. Whalen in the office. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about the student profile and how to create the student profile in getting ready to apply for local scholarships. So what we're going to do is we're going to have you visit the MSF Dollars for Scholars website at marshalldollarsforscholars.org. And then when you get there, you're going to see a page that looks very much like this, and you're going to click on the Student and Parent Login tab, which you can see in the red oval. As you get to that page, you'll see that there are some specific information that you guys can work with and some things to just read really quick before you get started. Eventually, then you're going to click on the red click to log in button, which is a light blue color. Once you do that, it's going to take you to a site where you can create your student profile. If you don't already have an account, you can create one there at that time under the area that says don't have an account, create one here. If you already have your account and have done part of your application already, you can click on the box below that has the account login here. Again, it does have a forgot password app. If we have some issues, we might be able to help you out with that. But please make sure to do your best to remember the things that you've made your logins and your addresses. Now, a couple of really helpful hints in going through this. You're going to start when you get your actual login going by entering the name of your high school, which obviously is Marshall. We have obviously a very common high school name. So when you do that, you're going to want to filter your results by the city, the state, or the zip code of the school. Once you get that done, you'll click on Choose This School where your high school appears. Obviously, as you can see here, the arrow goes to the high school name, followed by, it'll give you the right information for us, and then you choose this school. Again, be aware that in Wisconsin, there is a Marshall High School in Milwaukee. That is not the one you go to, so we do not want you applying for scholarships through them. I don't think they know who you are. Now, next, you'll create your student profile. And basically, you need to fill in all the fields with the appropriate information. One of the really big things that we emphasize is that you should not use your Marshall High School email address for this. Use a personal email address, one that hopefully sounds fairly professional. If you don't have one, you can get one through Gmail or other various hosting sites. The reason we do not recommend using your MHS email is once you graduate, oftentimes your Marshall High School account is cleared. And we will be sending you emails in the upcoming year following your graduation. So it's important that you are able to get those because that will tell you how you can claim your scholarships. All right, so do not use your Marshall email. Read the terms and conditions and check the box to agree, and then click the submit button. You'll have an email sent to you with your login information. If you don't get it within a reasonable amount of time, please do check your spam folder, as sometimes those things do end up in there, okay? There are the terms and conditions that you'll have to agree to. Now, the email you receive will provide you with a link that will allow you to get back to the login page, as well as a temporary password for logging in. Once you get that temporary password, you will be able to set your own password and obviously enter a password that you know that you are going to remember and click Save Password down there. Obviously, it'll be a password and then a confirm password. Make sure that's something you're going to remember, as it will allow you to get back into the program and continue working on the application. Now, if you forget your email, obviously it does have a forgot password protection. You do need to turn off the pop-up blockers in your browser if we do have some kind of problem, and enter that personal email. If you click reset the password, an email will be sent to you with instructions to do that. Pretty standard process. Now, once you hit this point, you'll be welcome to the student dashboard. The student dashboard is extremely helpful in doing things, as it not only tells you how much of your application you have done, it also allows you to work on your profile, and it can also tell you if there are any scholarship matches that maybe are outside of our organization based on your information that you can apply for. So you're going to look at your chapter matches and click the name to be directed to the MSF website. You're going to work on your My Information tab, and then there's also these other various things that you can look at. I highly recommend every time you get on the student dashboard reading over the site to see if there's any new opportunities there for you. Okay. Now, when you actually start working on your student profile, you're going to follow the link, and it's going to take you to your basic information for section first. In the basic information on the left, there are a number of different things ranging from basic information down to help. When you are basically done with things, you want your color bars to basically equal, green in most areas. In the beginning, red will indicate that you have not started something, yellow it's started but not finished, and green means that it's completed. If you have any questions about these areas, please come and see me during the school day, and we can help you get through those. Now, again, under the basic information, if an item is double starred, it is required for you to move on. You will notice that some of the things do not have any stars with them. That means nothing needs to go into that blank. Again, additional information, items that have a single star are factored into your profile completion percentage. You want to complete as many of these fields as possible to move your profile to 100% completion. Please do note that being at 100% does not mean you have applied for scholarships. It just means the application is done. You then have to hit the apply at the end, as we'll go through in a little while. Now, when it comes to filling out the student profile, please make sure and be complete and be accurate. Doing so will help us better match you with scholarships that fit you. So, for instance, your intended colleges, intended major areas, if you know what you're going to be doing, graduation year, and so on and so forth. Now, tips on completing your profile. A couple of really, really quick tips in some various areas. Okay. First of all, obviously it is important to be accurate. The data that you submit will be compared with the transcript that we receive from the school. Please, it is a reminder that Marshall does not use weighted GPAs, so please do not click the box or get confused where it says my school uses weighted GPAs. We have a regular 4.0 scale. You are going to enter your cumulative GPA only down where, if you see down here, I think you guys can pick up my mouse pointer, where we have the double asterisk. You do not have to figure out your GPA for each and every year. Once the first semester grades go final, you will be able to check with your high school guidance counselor to get the most accurate information. Please do make sure and base that on your first 7 semesters in high school. So include the grades that you will receive for the first semester of your senior year. Please see Mr. Whalen or Ms. Hinkle for that information. And there you go. Now, under your test scores, you're going to click on basically that button above to answer or put in your ACT information. You only need to enter your composite score. If you do not have an ACT score, please come and see me, as everybody was given a chance to take the ACT last year. And yes, we do have certain scholarships where we do take a look at that. Okay. Now, there you go. All right, under your activities. Now listen, this is the one that I get the most questions about, which is totally fine. Enter all school and non-school related activities that you're involved in, whether it be sports, you're involved in the school musical, you're in FFA, you help run a church camp, all of these things. Do not include things from middle school, though. I do understand that a lot of you guys have been involved in something like, for instance, FFA since you were in 7th grade. The Scholarship Foundation only looks at your 9th through 12th grade activities. All right. Underneath those activities, you will be able to put in kind of some of the things that you have done. So if you've, again, been involved in FFA and you've helped out with the Second Harvest Food Pantry several times, you'll be able to enter that information in. Please do remember that if an activity is required by a class, it should not be included here. So if you are in PALS because you're in leadership class, you cannot list PALS as a thing. If you volunteered for PALS outside of leadership class, it is okay to put it there. The scoring in this area is going to depend on the completeness of your profile. So obviously, please make sure that you're detailed in things. It does have a click to add an activity. Please feel free to add as many things as you're involved in, and the required fields underneath are going to have the double asterisks. It will also ask for your level of involvement, so if you're a member or if you're an officer. It'll also ask for any awards or honors or offices held. Again, be specific. Let us know what you did. That way we can see, kind of your level of involvement and what you've done with that group. All right. Next, you'll see an area that's employment. Some scholarships do look for employment information. There are things that maybe apply to someone who has been involved in something or going into a certain field based on some information. Please do enter all employment history and information from the last 4 years only. Again, if you had a job in 7th grade, I appreciate your hard work, but we're really only looking for your freshman through senior year. Again, list all of those jobs that you've held, and the scoring depends, again, on the completeness of your profile. All right, student profile, the parent and guardian information. If you're under 18, you need parental consent to apply for scholarships. That's very important because obviously it's in red up there. So you're going to enter your parental information and request consent. If you're over 18, you don't need that consent, but you can still enter your parent information if you want to. If you're legally emancipated, you can click there. Okay. Now, the next area is our essays. The Scholarship Foundation does require you to submit a goals and aspirations essay. The essay should basically describe your plans as they relate to your education and career objectives. It's a fairly easy to work with prompt. Please be descriptive. There's no length requirement, but being concise and to the point is important. But again, write a nice essay that explains to people what it is that you see in your future and how it relates to what your next steps in education will be. All right, unusual circumstances. This is one that maybe not everybody will fill out. Unusual circumstances are things that go above and beyond kind of the regular high school experience. One hint I'm going to give you is everybody lived through COVID, so please do not consider COVID to be an unusual circumstance. Death of a family member during school, really difficult living situation, and things like that could be listed under the unusual circumstances. Obviously, you'll see, there's an area to tell us about that situation and how it's impacted your educational experience and maybe your involvement outside of school. Okay, it is an optional essay, and it would get, again, any unusual family or personal circumstances that affect you. Again, there's no length. Be concise, but do explain to us how that information affects you. Now, student profile references. This is going to be a little bit new this year. We are going to require a recommendation from a reference this year that can be added by clicking the reference information, and then you can go through the process of asking someone to be a reference for you, getting the information that you need from them, and then entering that in. Okay. You can click Add Reference Information to request your recommendation. Your reference will receive an email with a link to complete the reference for you. So, for instance, if you were to put me down, when you put my information in there, I'm going to be sent a kind of a questionnaire about you, and I would fill that out, and it would submit directly to the website. As a teacher, please make sure that you give teachers you might ask enough time to be able to do a good job for you. Don't wait until February 9th to ask someone to be your reference. Okay, and save and look for scholarships. Last but not least, your transcript. Again, your transcript that we are looking for is going to include the first 7 semesters of your time in high school, so your freshman, sophomore, junior, and first semester of your senior year. We do require that unofficial transcript verified by the school. You will probably, once first semester ends, have to give a couple of days and then go and see Mr. Walden and Ms. Hinkle in order to get that. You're going to click Add School Official Information to request your transcript, or go and see them to figure out how to get that from them. Okay, items aren't required by us. We do not require class rank. Marshall has a little bit of a difficult system for figuring that out. In our Laude system, there is no true class rank. Also, we do not require any kind of financial information about you or your family. All right. Last but not least, once you've completed all your information, you can start to search for scholarships. You're going to click Save and look for scholarship on the reference page, and then click Search for scholarships on my dashboard. When you do that, and click My Scholarships in the menu on any page. Okay. It will then probably ask you some additional questions to see that if you're eligible for certain kinds of scholarships, specific things. For instance, have you been involved in any community service? If you click yes or no, that may direct you to answer more questions based on that lead question. Okay. Additionally, some may require you to complete an additional open-ended type thing. A lot of these are ones outside of the Scholarship Foundation. They may also ask you to provide additional references. there could be, like I said, additional things asked to be done. As with the previous screen, Marshall Scholarship Foundation may or may not have any additional questions or references for any of their things. As you can see, some of the scholarships listed below are they're made up, but they sometimes don't have anything to do with our group and are sponsored by outside groups. Okay, now, if you see something that Scholarship America believes that you match, there may be, like I said, additional questions, and then you can additionally hit the apply button, which will activate your application of those things. If there's no information required, the apply button will already be active. To be eligible for a scholarship, you must click the apply button. All right, that's very important. If you don't click the apply button, you are not considered for that scholarship. All right. Last but not least, if you need help, please click on the help section for instructional documents and videos. If you have any questions or need any kind of tech support, click on the support, and you can enter a ticket if it's anything on the tech end. Okay. Now, you can log in and log out and start and stop working on your profile whenever you need to. You do not have to go in and do it all in one big shot. All right, well, thanks and good luck. If you have any questions, you can use the gray support button if it's anything on the Dollars for Scholars website end, or if it's something on our end, you could let me know, again, Chris Seep at the high school, or you could send an email to info@marshallscholarships@gmail.com. Again, thanks a lot. Best of luck, and there's probably going to be a little bit of dead air here at the end, but congratulations on being so close to the end. I can't wait to see you walk across the stage.